Colombia or Ecuador? Two neighbors in the Andes that both offer incredible scenery, affordable living, and a much slower pace of life than the US or Europe. But which one actually gives you the better lifestyle, the easier visa, the safer streets, and the lower taxes? Today we're putting them head to head across 10 categories: cost of living, healthcare, safety, weather, and more. And I'll tell you which one really comes out on top. Hey guys, I'm Matt, the Americano, and I help you figure out how to actually make the move abroad, whether it's visas, taxes, or just what groceries cost. I've got you covered. And if you like this style of comparison, I'll be doing a whole series of these over the next few weeks, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also check the links in the description. The Passport, my free newsletter packed with expat strategies, visa breakdowns, and cost of living insights. Brokor, my free newsletter with real estate and business opportunities all around the world. And if you're in Bogotá, come hang out with us at Bogotá Nomads, our growing community for expats and local English speakers. Links in the description. All right, let's dive into Colombia versus Ecuador and see which country wins this expat showdown. Both Colombia and Ecuador are incredibly affordable compared to the US or Europe, but they get there in very different ways. Colombia runs on the peso, and that exchange rate gives you a huge bang for your buck. A modern one-bedroom apartment in Medellín or Bogotá rents for $400 to $800 a month, depending on the neighborhood. Sure, it can cost less or more, but that's about the medium range. Eating out, $3 to $6 gets you a full restaurant meal, and even a nice dinner out rarely tops $15. Groceries are affordable, produce is fresh, and transportation is cheap. The only things that get pricey are imports: peanut butter, wine, or brand name electronics. Ecuador uses the US dollar as its official currency, which makes things simple, but it also sometimes keeps prices a little bit higher. In cities like Cuenca, Loja, or even Quito, you'll pay around $500 to $700 for a modern one-bedroom apartment, and again, they can be a little less or more, but meals are still cheap, $3 to $5 for local food, $8 to $10 at a mid-range restaurant, but groceries and Western goods can feel more expensive than in Colombia. Utilities and internet are comparable, and transportation is just as cheap. Who wins this round? It's close, but in my opinion, Colombia takes this one. The peso gives you more buying power, especially for housing and daily expenses. Ecuador's dollarized stability makes budgeting easy, but your money stretches further in Colombia. For most expats, especially Americans, flight access matters. You want to be able to visit family or return home easily without a marathon travel day. Colombia has one of the best connected airports in Latin America, El Dorado International in Bogotá. It's consistently ranked among the most efficient and busiest airports in the region. From Bogotá, you can be in Miami in about 3.5 hours, New York in 5 to 6, and you've got direct flights to dozens of US and European cities. Medellín and Cartagena also have international connections, so it's not just the capital doing the heavy lifting. Ecuador, on the other hand, is a little smaller in scale. Its two main airports, Quito and Guayaquil, both have direct flights to Miami, which take around 4 hours, and a handful of other US destinations like Houston and Atlanta, but overall, flight frequency and route variety are more limited. If you live in Cuenca or Loja, you'll usually need to connect through Quito or Guayaquil first. Who wins this round? Colombia. Its central location, flight variety, and strong airport infrastructure make getting in and out a breeze. Ecuador isn't hard to reach, but if you travel often for business, family, or leisure, Colombia's connectivity gives it the clear edge. If you're planning to stay more than a few months, visas and residency options are a big deal. And this is where Colombia and Ecuador take slightly different approaches. Colombia keeps things flexible. If you're a remote worker, the digital nomad visa lets you stay for 1 to 2 years with as little as $900 to $1,100 a month in foreign income, depending on the conversion. Retirees can qualify for the M11 retirement visa for $1,000, $1,100 a month, depending on the conversion, in pension income, one of the easiest thresholds in Latin America. And if you're an investor, about $90,000 in Colombian real estate gets you a residence qualifying visa. It's straightforward, but not a direct path to citizenship. You'll need 5 years of continuous residency before you can apply for permanent status. Ecuador, on the other hand, offers multiple long-term options and a faster track. The retirement visa requires proof of $1,275 a month in pension income. The investor visa asks for $46,000 US in investment, either in property or a bank deposit. And the digital nomad visa requires around $1,350 a month in foreign income. Once approved, you can apply for permanent residency after just 2 years and citizenship after 3. Who wins this round? Ecuador. While Colombia's visas are easier to qualify for, Ecuador's path to permanent residency and citizenship is faster and more secure long term. If you're looking to truly plant roots, Ecuador takes the win. Taxes can either make your expat dream affordable or turn it into a headache. So let's break this down carefully. Colombia taxes worldwide income if you spend more than 183 days in the country during a 12-month period. That means salaries, investments, and pensions can be taxable, but here's the good news. Pensions are exempt up to about $12,000 a month, and U.S. Social Security benefits aren't taxed at all. For most retirees, that means zero local income tax. Digital nomads and entrepreneurs, though, will need to keep an eye on income thresholds and may want a Colombian accountant to stay compliant. Ecuador operates more like a territorial tax system. Residents are generally taxed only on income earned inside Ecuador. Foreign-sourced income, pensions, dividends, business income from abroad is not taxed locally as long as it's earned outside the country. That's a massive plus for retirees and remote workers. The rules are straightforward, enforcement is light, and there's no wealth or inheritance tax to worry about. Who wins this round? Ecuador. While Colombia gives retirees a huge break with its pension exemption, Ecuador's tax simplicity and true territorial approach make it the more tax-friendly country overall, especially if your income comes from outside the country. Healthcare is one of the biggest reasons people look abroad, and both Colombia and Ecuador have strong systems that make the U.S. look overpriced. Colombia has one of the top healthcare systems in Latin America. As a resident, you can join the public EPS plan for around $25 to $30 a month, which covers doctor's visits, medications, and even major procedures. Most expats combine that with a private plan, typically $60 to $150 a month, to reduce wait times and get faster service. Cities like Medellín, Bogotá, and Bucaramanga have internationally accredited hospitals, and medical tourism is growing rapidly thanks to low cost and English-speaking doctors. Ecuador offers both a public and private option as well. Residents can join the public IESS program, which costs roughly $80 to $100 a month per person and covers hospital care, surgeries, and prescriptions. It's affordable and functional, though wait times can be long. Private healthcare is also inexpensive, usually $60 to $120 a month for good coverage. Cuenca, Quito, and Guayaquil all have reputable private hospitals, and Cuenca in particular has become known for its retiree medical tourism scene. Who wins this round? This one's probably more of a tie. Colombia has slightly more advanced facilities and higher rankings internationally, but Ecuador's system is also affordable and effective. Both offer excellent health care at a fraction of U.S. costs. So this one really depends on where you plan to live and what kind of care you prefer. Safety is always one of the biggest concerns when choosing where to live. And in this matchup, recent trends have really shifted the balance. Colombia has spent the last 2 decades turning its image around. Cities like Medellín and Bogotá are now thriving, modern, and filled with expats, entrepreneurs, and travelers. Petty theft, phone snatching, pickpocketing is still something to watch for, especially in crowded or touristy areas, but violent crime against foreigners is rare in the major cities. The country still deals with occasional protests or road blockades, but day-to-day life feels stable and predictable for most expats. Ecuador, however, has seen a noticeable uptick in crime in the past couple of years, especially in the port city of Guayaquil and along the coast, where gang-related violence has increased. Even Quito and Cuenca, which were once considered extremely safe, have reported higher petty crime rates recently. Political protests have also become more common. While the government is working to restore stability, the shift has made some longtime expats more cautious about safety than before. Who wins this round? Colombia. It's not perfect, but the trend line is positive. Safety keeps improving year after year. Ecuador, on the other hand, has unfortunately moved in the opposite direction recently. If stability and peace of mind are top priorities, Colombia currently has the edge. Both Colombia and Ecuador are Spanish-speaking countries, and for English speakers, both offer some of the clearest, most neutral Spanish in Latin America. Colombia is an amazing place to learn and practice Spanish. The accent, especially in Bogotá and Medellín, is considered clean and easy to understand, and Colombians are famously friendly and patient when you're learning. You'll need Spanish for most day-to-day tasks like banking, shopping, or doctor's visits, but locals genuinely appreciate the effort, and that makes learning faster and more fun. Ecuador also has a very neutral, slow-paced accent. Some language experts actually rank it as one of the easiest in the world to understand. You'll find more English speakers in expat-heavy areas like Cuenca or Quito, particularly among younger professionals and those in tourism, but Spanish is still essential if you plan to live long-term or travel outside the main cities. Who wins this round? Again, it's a tie. Both countries offer fantastic environments for learning Spanish. Colombia has a livelier immersion experience, while Ecuador's slower, clearer accent makes comprehension a bit easier. Either way, you'll come out speaking solid real-world Spanish. Weather is one of the biggest perks of living in either Colombia or Ecuador. Both countries are on the equator, which means no traditional seasons, just consistent temperatures all year long. But the key difference is altitude. Colombia lets you literally choose your climate by elevation. Medellín is famous for its eternal spring, around 75 degrees Fahrenheit, almost every day. Bogotá sits higher up, so it's cool and crisp, while Cartagena and Santa Marta are hot, tropical, and humid year-round. You can go from spring to summer to mountain chill just by driving a few hours. Ecuador offers a similar setup, but on a smaller scale. Quito, the capital, has mild weather all year, cool mornings, sunny afternoons, and chilly nights. Cuenca, another expat favorite, stays around 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, making it perfect for retirees who don't want extreme heat. The coast is warmer and more humid, while the Galapagos Islands are tropical. Who wins this round? Yeah, this is a tie, but with a twist. Ecuador offers stable, mild weather and less variation overall. Colombia wins for variety. If you want options from beaches to cool mountains to year-round spring, Colombia has the full menu. Ecuador's weather is calmer, predictable, and comfortable, but not quite as diverse. Culture is what makes living abroad more than just cheaper rent. It's what makes you want to stay. Colombia is alive with energy. From the coffee farms in the mountains to the salsa clubs in Cali and the beaches of Cartagena, the country is built around music, movement, and connection. Colombians are warm, social, and always up for a good conversation. Bogotá brings a cosmopolitan vibe with gourmet dining and massive shopping malls. Medellín is full of digital nomads and nightlife. And the Caribbean coast brings color, rhythm, and endless festivals. It's vibrant, diverse, and constantly in motion. Ecuador, by contrast, is calmer, more tranquil. Life moves at a slower pace, especially in cities like Cuenca, where cobblestone streets, colonial architecture, and quiet plazas set the tone. You won't find the same high-energy nightlife as Colombia, but you'll find peace, community, and a strong focus on nature. Hiking, birdwatching, and outdoor markets are part of everyday life. In places like Quito, you get culture through art galleries, museums, and historic charm. Who wins this round? Well, this one depends on your personality. If you crave energy, nightlife, and social connection, Colombia is unbeatable. If you prefer calm, culture, and mountain serenity, Ecuador wins for lifestyle balance. It's Latin passion versus Andean peace, and both are beautiful in their own way. When you move abroad, community makes all the difference. It's how you build friendships, get advice, and feel at home. Colombia's expat scene is growing quickly, especially in Medellín, Bogotá, Barranquilla, and Cartagena. Medellín is one of Latin America's fastest growing digital nomad hubs, with co-working spaces, social meetups, and international entrepreneurs. Bogotá has a mix of professionals, creatives, and remote workers, and Cartagena attracts retirees and part-timers who split their year between Latin America and North America. It's still young as an expat scene, but that's part of the charm. You're blending with locals, not just other foreigners. Ecuador, on the other hand, has one of the most established expat communities in the region, especially in Cuenca. It's often ranked among the best retirement destinations in the world, and it's easy to see why. Slow pace, mild weather, affordable healthcare, and a large English-speaking community. You'll find expat meetups, international restaurants, and social clubs that make it easy to plug in. The vibe skews older with a lot of retirees, while Colombia tends to attract younger nomads and entrepreneurs. Who wins this round? Ecuador for the size and maturity of its expat community, but Colombia is growing fast and feels more dynamic and diverse, especially if you prefer a more blended experience with locals rather than living in an expat bubble. All right, let's tally this up. Colombia wins cost of living, flights and distance, safety and stability, and culture and lifestyle for social energy. Ecuador wins visas and residency, taxes, and expat community. The ties are healthcare, weather, and language. The takeaway, if you want energy, variety, better flight access, and a faster pace of life, go with Colombia. If you want calm, easy residence, lower taxes, and an established expat scene, Ecuador is your spot. They're neighbors, but they offer completely different lifestyles. Colombia is for the doers, the builders, the social explorers. Ecuador is for the retirees, the nature lovers, and the peace seekers. So which one would you choose, Colombia or Ecuador? Drop your pick in the comments. I read every one. If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and check the links in the description. The Passport, my free weekly newsletter on expat life, visas, and global mobility. Brokor, my free newsletter with international real estate and business opportunities. Bogotá Nomads. If you're in Colombia, join our growing community of expats and English speakers. We're already hosting our first event. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt, the Americano, and I'll catch you in the next video.